Rick, how are you, mate? How are you, mate? All right.
Go, do you want to get off?
Why is this the right game to start with 4 to 10?
Well, every game we have a look at the conditions, the opposition, what we think we need to do, what we think we need to take away from the opposition, and this is the best fit for us. It's horses for courses.
Yeah, in particular then, what are the conditions of the opposition in terms of starting?
Well, you know, these press conferences are for detailing the tactics of your game. But we just feel it's the right combination this week.
What else do you expect in your midfield then to keep what back to?
Well, work rate's going to be important. You know, whenever you play against New Zealand, your work off the ball is going to be massively important. You know, they like to move the ball around. They're very good on transition. And George's work rate off the ball is absolutely exceptional.
Playing yours with the Stars, how close was that for Chris, given the strength and variety that New Zealand have got in there, something like that? Because in the past you've gone obviously for an expertise in some games like this.
Yeah, we've got 4 great locks in the squad, and it's a hard decision every game on who we're going to start with and who we're going to finish with. I believe George Cruz will be exceptional for us finishing in the second half, and Courtney will throw himself around a bit in the first half.
Steve Hansen said New Zealand are used to having this kind of pressure. I mean, that you would be naive to think that England aren't under any pressure, because this is a game that you've been working towards for 4 years. Eddie, does he have a point?
Well, I think every team has, hasn't it? You know, there's 20 teams started the comp, 20 teams wanted to win it. There's 4 teams left, so everyone's been working towards that.
Have you enjoyed this week? It certainly sounds like you and Steve had a little bit of fun.
Yeah, well, I think it's a great week, isn't it? You know, it's one of the most exciting weeks of World Rugby. You get a press conference that you only usually, you know, if you've done something really bad. We haven't done anything bad yet, so it's an exceptional week for us.
And you also make a point, 2/3 of your starters, be it with England or with the Lions, have beaten New Zealand. So, you know, how significant do you feel that might be?
Well, I think traditionally when you play against New Zealand, the pace and intensity of the game gets you, and I think if you've experienced that before, you understand what you've got to prepare yourself for. And you know, most of our squad have been involved in those games, so they've got great experience. They know what the New Zealand's going to bring to the game, and they've practiced this week to be equipped for it.
Hey Eddie,
I spoke to Steve Hansen this morning, and he described England to me as a caged animal and said that if New Zealand don't show up on Saturday, they'll get eaten up. I just wonder if you agree with that analogy.
Well, I think we've been eating plenty. We had some nice Miyazaki beef down in Miyazaki. Boys have had some nice sushi here. We're ready for the game. You know, as I said at the previous, we've had 2.5 years to prepare for this game, so we're ready to go. And it's going to be a great contest, isn't it? 2 heavyweights, one dressed in black, one dressed in white. You couldn't think of a better scenario.
Sorry for my clumsy English. Before the game between the Northern nation and Southern nation, how do you explain that over the past 8 World Cups, only one nation of the Northern, England in Sweden, won the event?
Well, I don't buy into that Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere rubbish. I think that it's a world game. You get trends on who's strong and who's not strong, and at the moment, New Zealand and England are in the top 4 in the world, and we've got a great clash on Saturday. So, that's for you guys to talk about.
Both coaches have said they know each other very, very well. As a coach, how do you prepare your team for the things that you don't know about the All Blacks, or what they haven't shown you yet? What's the key to getting that right for your team?
Well, I think the New Zealand have always shown a propensity to change the order of the way they play, and it'll be up to our team to understand that pretty clearly at the start of the game. And they always have some sort of surprise first phase type attack. If you look back at the 2011 World Cup where they scored the try through the middle of the line out. So all we can do is be creative at training, think about different situations, equip the players to handle it, and then we have to anticipate on the field. The one thing about playing against New Zealand, you've got to be alive all the time, because they're always in the game and they're always looking for opportunities. So you just got to be alive in the game, and our players are equipped for that. They're ready to go and can't wait for it, mate.
Hi Eddie. Former England international Steve Thompson said on TalkSport 2 today that England can't win the World Cup with George Ford at number 10 because of his defence. What do you make of that?
We better speak to Steve Thompson about that, mate.
I mean,
obviously you work for TalkSport too, so talk to your employees at TalkSport too.
Sorry.
You don't work for TalkSport too.
No, I do, but...
Well, there you go. There you go, mate. Talk to him.
I want to know what you think about
Well, I've got no opinion, mate. Like everyone's entitled to opinion, aren't they? Everyone's entitled to opinion. But at least you got your radio station and a press conference. Everyone knows. Now everyone tonight's going to be listening to TalkSport too.
Eddie, after the quarterfinal, you said at the time you didn't have any sympathy for Australia, but you might feel differently about it in a few days. It's been a few days. Do you feel differently about it? And in particular, some of the criticism that Michael Cheek has received?
Yeah, well, it's never pleasant. When you lose your job, it's tough, and there's various comments made around the place, and I do feel for him personally. I think he's put some pride back in Australian rugby. Like us all, we make mistakes, we do silly things, and he's just human. But he's given that job everything he can, and he got Australia out of a difficult situation, got into the World Cup final in 2015, and I'm sure that he'll rise again as a coach, mate.
A lot of people back home are suggesting that you might come back one day and coach the Wallabies. Are you interested?
Well, I don't think that's really a question for now, mate. I think we've got a pretty important game on Saturday, and that's the only thing I'm worried about.
Hi, Steve Hansen has said this week that there is something in international rugby called mind games. He believes they exist. There was the talk about spying this week. Is that an example of these kind of mind games?
Well, I think it's always good to have a bit of fun, mate, isn't it?
100%.
Well, there you go, you've answered your question.
So was it fun or was it mind games? Because Steve Hansen said you texted him this week and you didn't mention the possibility of spying. Is that you basically saying that it was not New Zealand?
I don't think I ever made any sort of accusation that New Zealand was spying. But we definitely saw someone having a look. And it might have been just a Japanese fan. Might have been someone keen on Owen. Wanted to take some photos. I don't know. We definitely saw someone, and there was never an accusation that it was New Zealand. Well, they might have been looking at Wisey. An older fan might have been looking for Wisey. I don't know, mate.
So it's not mind games?
Well, what do you define as mind games?
Maybe this sort of talk that we're having right now?
Okay, then we're having mind games.
Chris. Owen, you've seen Billy had first hand come through a whole series of really bad injuries. Can you talk about it now? He's winning his 50th cap, just what it's taken to get in there.
Yeah, probably it was a big test of him because a lot of his injuries seemed to come at once. He never seemed to have them for a long time, and then he got tested a good few times. So there's a massive strength of character for him to put the work in he's done to always be ready when he's come back. And as you've seen, every time he's come back, he's been excellent. So he's been brilliant in that regard.
Mitch, back.
Hi. Ever since the draw was made 2.5 years ago, you've had this on your kind of planner. How much of the decisions you've made and everything you've done since has been geared towards this particular time, this particular day on Saturday?
Well, there's a certain sort of game you have to play against New Zealand, and certainly we've tried to incorporate that into our tactical armoury. And yeah, we were confident enough to think we'd make the semi-finals, and so we feel like we're well prepared for the game, mate.
Liam, when we get the mic there.
Eddie, how are you? The All Blacks have named Scott Barrett at 6. Did that surprise you, and do you have any concerns about them targeting your lineup?
Look, we don't control their selection, so it's not really an issue for us, mate. Whatever they put out in the field, we know they're going to have a good team. We know they'll have certain tactics where they'll try to target us, and we're going to be good enough to cope with it.
Hi Eddie, I know injuries and how things play out are well beyond anybody's control, but how key is keeping Billy, Mako and Manu on for as much of the 80 minutes as you can to success against the All Blacks?
Well, we have a certain plan about how we want to use the 23, and those three guys are definitely important players, but not any more important than the other 20 players in the squad. You know, we have very much an approach that we've got a 23-man squad that's playing 80 minutes of Test rugby. In each position, we want a good 80 minutes, so they're key players for us. We've got another 8 guys who have been training outstandingly well that we had to tell this morning aren't part of the squad, and they continue to support the squad, and it's our approach towards this World Cup.
Okay, last question.
Eddie, you've been here at the business end of World Cups before.
Yeah.
Did you draw on that? Do you have a blueprint for these last couple of weeks of the World Cup and what it takes to win good games?
Well, I think definitely from a coaching point of view, it helps having experience before. You know that the stress that the players are under. Like, you know, there is pressure involved, obviously, for everyone involved in it. And your job as a coach is to minimise the stress for your players and allow them to be free, allow them to have a clear head, allow them to play with energy and use their natural ability during the game. So, yeah, one of the things probably learned is that you don't do too much this week. You actually train a little bit less, do a little bit less tactically, which is why, you know, going back to the other questions, you know, for 2.5 years we've been building up a game to play against New Zealand. So we don't have to put a lot of new stuff into our game this week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.